Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to film my TBR check-in and book haul. And I apologize that the lighting is not great. It is wintertime in Maine, and that means no natural light. And we have moved the bedroom furniture around, and my TBR bookcase is in the bedroom. And so this may or may not work. I'm trying it out for this month. I may have to adjust my filming location for TBR check-ins going into the future. But we're just going to go with it for today because it's the first day back to work after Christmas vacation, and you know how that is. So let's talk about where my numbers ended up for the year. So if you remember correctly, I ended the month of November with 96 books on the physical TBR. And then it was Christmas, and it all went horribly wrong, but not really. It went horribly right because I got some excellent books for Christmas. So let's look at the numbers here, shall we? I read a total of 11 books in the month of December. 7 of those were off my shelf. I brought in 22 books, no unhauls, no DNFs and unhauls. So that's a plus 15 for the month, leaving me with 111 books total. Yes, you heard it here first. 111 books is what I ended the year with. But while that is over 100, I am happy to report I started the year at 119 books, and I ended the year at 111 books. So that means I reduced my TBR overall for the whole year by 8 books. So I did not go up, which is great. And I did make it below 100 twice this year. 2 different months I made it below 100. So I feel like my TBR game is working out perfectly well for what I want it to do, which is basically hold me accountable for how many books I'm bringing in, to make me more intentional about the books that I'm purchasing, and to make me just think about, is this a book that I really need to buy right now, or can it wait for a while? That's the annual look right there. That's what it looked like at the end of 2023. 111 books on the physical TBR. So I brought in 22 books over the month of December. Some of these I purchased myself. Yes, I got stung by the book outlet sale again. I stayed out of book outlet for the whole of 2023 until December. And so that happened, and then I was gifted quite a few books for Christmas. So let's just talk about them. First, we're going to talk about books that I've already read and talked about on the channel. The first one is Abby Menace's Yours Truly. This is a romance novel. I actually read this one in December, so this one was purchased and read in the same month. And likewise, Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is cozy fantasy, purchased and read in the same month. So those two I've already talked about on the channel. Part of the book outlet box of books that I got, I picked up this graphic novel. This is The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. Kay O'Neill is a New Zealand non-binary author who writes the Tea Dragon Society graphic novels, which I have not read. But I believe, I know I saw this on Allison Page's channel, and I think maybe Doris read it last year as well. And so I saw this and I said, well, I'd like to read a cozy graphic novel. So I picked it up and I read that. I purchased and read this one also in the month of December. This book came in to my house in December and was read on January 1st. But this was a gift from my buddy reader friend, Rachel. She very kindly gifted me Gift from the Sea by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. This is the 50th anniversary edition with this lovely silver foiling. I will be talking about this soon in my next recent reads or video, so stay tuned for that. So those 4 books came in and were read already. So let's talk about what else we have. Another book that I purchased is one that I read. I was a pre-reader before this book was published. So this is No Matter What, A Story of Unwavering Devotion and the Power of Resilience by Erin Nichols. This is a memoir written by our own Erin from Erin Go Live. I will link her channel down below. This is her memoir of her life with her husband. Her husband was a Marine, I believe, in Marine Corps, and went to Afghanistan or Iraq. I can't remember. He was deployed overseas anyway, and he was very severely injured, brain injury. And this is their story of how they met and their lives together. And Sam sadly passed away during COVID-19. And it's just an amazing story. Like I said, I read this one as an early reader when Erin was working on this book, and I'm so thrilled to have this final copy. This is a naked hardcover with this photo on the front of Sam, and it's so lovely. And here is Erin's author photo on the back. Like, how cool is that to have your own book in a hardcover? I am so pleased to have this physical book in my hand. So I will be reading this for the second time around now that it's a finished copy, now that I have it in my hot little hands. Another book that I purchased, this one I picked up used for $3, so I could not pass it up. This is The President and the Frog by Carolina de Robertes. I have not read anything by this author, but last year, Sean had Alba on his channel talking about this book. They read it together, and the way Alba talked about it, I was like, I absolutely have to read this book. It is about a Caribbean island president who is imprisoned, and his interactions with a frog. And that's really all I know about it. But if you didn't see that discussion video between Sean and Alba, that was a fantastic discussion video and definitely convinced me that I needed to read this book. The next couple of books, the next 4 books, were books that I picked up from the book outlet sale at the end of November. This novel, The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brammer. I saw this one at quite a few channels last year. A lot of people really raved about this book. I believe it is about a death doula. So it is about a person who, is with people as they make their transition to death. And I've heard it's really heartwarming, and, I like a heartwarming book, so I could not, when I saw this one on the outlet sale, I was like, yeah, I'll try that one. This next book is because of Britta Bowler. She had convinced me that I needed to read Things in Jars by Jess Kidd. We buddy read the first book in the, what was the name of that mystery series? It's a mystery series about a woman in the 1800s who is a lepidopterist, and the Veronica Speedwell mystery series. And Britta said that this book scratches that itch of a woman scientist from, in the time period when women were not scientists. The Victorian era type of a thing. So I don't know anything else about this except that Britta recommended it to me, and it's about a woman who wants to be a scientist in Victorian England. So yes, please. That is right up my alley. The next 2 books I'm not going to talk about specifically, but these are the 2 books in the Inspector Lynley mystery series that I am currently buddy reading with Britta. And these are not the next 2 books that we need to read, but they are later on in the series. But they're really excellent larger paperback copies of these mystery novels, and so they were a very reasonable price, so I picked them up, and we'll keep them on the TBR until such time as we are ready to read them. Now, I think the next stack is the rest of these are all Christmas presents that I received either from my parents or my husband, and I provide them with a list, and they very kindly purchase things off of that list. So this first stack are all books for the Book Naturalist Book Club for 2024, and they will be sitting right up here. You may notice this empty space on my TBR shelf. This is where the Book Naturalist books go for the year. I've cleared off the 2023 books that we've already read, and so these books will be read in 2024. So I have January's book, The Comfort of Crows by Margaret Wrinkle. There were 2 books picked for February, so I have Black Faces, White Spaces, Reimagining the Relationship of African Americans to the Great Outdoors by Carolyn Finney. A Darker Wilderness, Black Nature Writing from Soil to Stars, edited by Erin Sharkey. Those 2 are for February. Then for March, we have The Vaster Wilds by Lauren Groff. This is a novel. For April, we have Understory, A Life with Trees by Inga Simpson. I believe this one is Australian, by an Australian author. For May, we have The Sakura Obsession, The Incredible Story of the Plant Hunter Who Saved Japan's Cherry Blossoms by Naoko Abe. So that one is for May. So I have the first 5 months of the Book Naturalist Club books already ready for me to go. And then I found a used copy at my the used bookstore that I frequent in Bangor. I got this one, which I don't think we read until the fall, but again, for Book Naturalist Book Club, Fresh Banana Leaves, Healing Indigenous Landscapes Through Indigenous Science by Jessica Hernandez. So I think this one is our November read, but very excited to find that one used. So those are all for Book Naturalist Book Club. And then these last books are just books, for variety of reasons that I wanted them. The first one is a buddy read that I will be reading this one in January for a buddy read with Joe Smith, and that is this chunker, The World Turned Upside Down, A History of the Chinese Cultural Revolution by Yang Jisheng. This is a monster, and the text, look at that. That's the whole book is like that. The whole book is just like wall-to-wall text. But Joe and I wanted to read more thoroughly about the Chinese Cultural Revolution after we buddy read together Do Not Say We Have Nothing by Madeline Tien last year. We buddy read that with Kim from Middle of the Book March. Kim DNF'd the book, and she was not interested in reading this huge nonfiction, but Joe and I are going to tackle it and see what we can learn and see if we can get through it. So I am a little bit trepidatious, but also extremely interested to learn more about Chinese history. So this one will be a January read. And the rest of these are just books that I wanted for various purposes. This is a novel. This is the Air Raid Book Club by Annie Lyons. And I think this is a World War II novel about a bookshop in, I'm not sure where it is located, but it's about a bookstore and how World War II impacts this bookstore. And I believe that Patrice and I will be buddy reading this one at some point in 2024. This is an interesting book. I've been really wanting to read more about some of the uprisings, labor movement things that had occurred in Central America and the Caribbean in 20th century. So this is The Fish That Ate the Whale, The Life and Times of America's Banana King by Rich Cohen. And this is about Samuel Zemurray in the late 1800s and his how he got involved in a banana enterprise. And I believe this ties in with the overthrow of the Guatemalan government. So very interested to learn more about that particular period of history. This is a book that I will blame on Doris. She read this one a couple of years ago and made it sound so incredibly interesting. And I have been trying to get my hands on a copy since then. And my husband finally found this used copy for me. This is Looking for Miss America, A Pageant's 100-Year Quest to Define Womanhood by Margot Mifflin. And this is just what it says on the tin. This is a history of the Miss America pageant. And the way Doris talked about this book just made it sound so interesting. So I am very much looking forward to diving into this one. And this one also has like super cool photos inside. So that's always fun as well. And then last but not least, another chunker. This is The Deadline by Jill Lepore. This is her collection of essays that just came out last year. I love Jill Lepore. I think I started with her with the book about Wonder Woman. What was the name of that one? The Secret History of Wonder Woman was the first book that I read of hers. Then I read These Truths. Then I read If Then, all three of which I have loved and adored. And so when I found out that she had a new book coming out, and this is, a very comprehensive collection of her essays and other nonfiction writing, I knew I had to get my hands on it. So this is another Christmas gift for me, and I am very, very excited to have it. So Jill Lepore is just an auto-buy author for me at this point. She's such a fabulous historian. If you like to read history from a feminist point of view and from a point of view of marginalized voices, then I think Jill Lepore is a great author to read from. So those are all the books that I brought in December. Quite a lot of them. I'm very excited to have them all. I mean, I was just blessed this year with all of the gifts that I received to feed my reading habit. I hope that you have all been getting some great books into your house as well. I'd love to hear about a book that you recently acquired and if you've read it yet or not. Because that's the problem with me is I bring these books in and then I don't always read. I'm very excited for them, but like you can't read them all at once. And so some sit around for a while. But I am excited for all of these and I look forward to discussing them all with you as I get them read. I'll talk to you later.